Hey, dog sport handlers. Welcome to the Canine Handler Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, Liz Joyce, your go-to expert for all things dog sport fitness. Whether you're running agility, doing protection work, tackling search and rescue, handling a tough tugger, or just looking to build strength for a lifetime of adventures with your dog, remember, you are half the team, and I'm here to help you stay strong, mobile, and injury-free. Join me as I break down the unique demands of handler fitness, speed, strength, endurance, and everything you need to perform at your best, both in and out of the ring. Let's stay strong, stay in the game, and keep doing what we love. Let's dive in. Howdy, y'all, and welcome back to the Canine Handler Fitness Podcast. I am your host, Liz Joyce, and today we're diving into something that so many of us wrestle with, sugar cravings. If you're wondering why we're talking about sugar on a podcast for dog sport athletes, here's the connection. Our performance as handlers depends on energy, focus, and recovery. Sugar cravings often spike when we're tired, stressed, or underfueled, which is pretty much every trial weekend. Am I right? We're going to talk about strategies so you can learn how to support your body better, so you can feel and be more in control, avoid energy crashes, show up more consistently for yourself and your dog, and leave trial weekends feeling physically and emotionally intact. Whether it's a 3 p.m. crash, or perhaps you love and almost need chocolate as soon as you're finished dinner, or perhaps there's a bit of an emotional side to it, sugar cravings are real. But here's the good news. They do not have to run your day. And I really want to be clear about this. In fitness, there is a lot of shaming, and this episode and I am not here to shame you for liking sugar. I'm never here to shame you for anything. What we're talking about today is understanding what's behind these cravings, because once you understand the why, you can shift your habits without feeling deprived, work with your body instead of fighting against it, and let's break it all down. Here's the hot question. Why do sugar cravings happen? If you are a sugar monster, this is a really great question. And most people think that sugar cravings are just about willpower. But being tired, stressed, running on fumes can leave you in a situation where you just want to dive face first into a pint of ice cream. But you know what? It is way deeper than that. We're going to break down how cravings are rooted in biology, in habits, emotions, and honestly, it's not usually just one, it's a combination. And at the end of this podcast, I've got a really simple formula and some homework for you so you can learn how to track where your cravings are coming from, what's the source of them, so you can really work on the key source and really change this ship around for you. The first thing I'm going to ask you to take a look at and have a quick check-in is sleep. Are you tired? Poor sleep disrupts two key hunger hormones, ghrelin and leptin. Ghrelin will make you feel more hungry, and leptin tells you when you're full. But when you're sleep deprived, that ghrelin is increased and leptin is decreased. So you want to eat more because you're more hungry, and also it takes a lot more for you to feel full. And sugar is a really quick way for your body to get the energy that it needs to bring it back up to full battery. When you've got low energy or brain fog, or your body is craving quick fuel, again, that is usually sugar. Our bodies are amazing at knowing what they need to feel as best as they can real quick, and it's not always in line with our goals. If your afternoons or late night cravings hit you hard, the first thing I want you to take a look at is your sleep. Are you getting 7 to 9 hours? And realistically, this might not be something that can happen for you right now, depending what stage of life you're in. Aiming for as much high quality, uninterrupted sleep as you can is the goal. Having your dark room, winding down before you go to bed. There is a whole podcast that I did all about sleep that also has an amazing sleep schedule that can help reset your sleep clock. So if you haven't listened to that podcast, head on over and take a look at that. But I really want to drive this home here. The very first line of defense for sugar cravings and motivation isn't having more willpower, it's making sure that you're getting enough sleep. That's the first thing that I really want you to take a look at. We're going to talk now about blood sugar because having stable blood sugar will make it a lot less likely that your body's going to want to reach for sugar as a quick boost. I've got this visual of a battery in my head. So if your battery gets low, instead of having a balanced meal that might take you up kind of a little bit slower, having sugar is going to fill that up a lot faster. If your meals are mostly refined carbs or sugary snacks, your blood sugar that battery will fill up, you'll spike, but then you are going to crash after. And then you're going to have cravings to bring your energy back up. And it really is a roller coaster that isn't a lot of fun to be on. And also will leave your brain feeling less than great. But here's a quick fix: balancing your meals. Isn't that a shocking thing? What I want you to aim for are high levels of protein in your meals. You can go on the internet and find recommendations for all kinds of protein values and quantities per day based on any metric that you want. You can really find anything you want on the internet to support what it is that you're looking for. The woman that I follow, and this is where this advice is coming from, is Dr. Vonda Wright. She is an orthopedic surgeon and a leading researcher and advocate for women who are going through menopause or perimenopause, women's health. Her guidance is 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal body weight. And that is the recommendation that I will pass on from her. So when you're looking at your meals, think about 20 to 30 grams of protein, get some healthy fats in there. Like, your brain will just be so grateful for that. And also for your gut flora and your digestion, fiber. So think fruits, veggies, or whole grains. This combo slows digestion and prevents this energy roller coaster. And if you're crashing mid-afternoon, I want you to look back a couple of hours at your lunch. That's a really common time of day. Who doesn't go for a 2 p.m. coffee? Well, I mean, I don't anymore because that really messes with my sleep. But if you're a person that goes for a mid-afternoon pick-me-up of any kind, number one, you're likely underslept. But number two, what did you have for lunch? Look back 2 or 3 hours. Did you skip it all together? And if you didn't, was it fairly balanced? Or was it like mostly carbohydrates? Was it mostly really high fat, deep fried foods? Just take a look back and make sure that what you're eating is supporting your goals of feeling great. Here's the thing. If you're a dog sport handler, and if you aren't, this is a funny podcast for you to be listening to, but you're welcome here anyway. Because we're dog sport handlers, how you fuel yourself matters just as much as how you fuel your dog. If your dog was a person, and obviously, listen, y'all, I know you're never going to send your dog into the ring on a full stomach, but let's pretend that you're treating yourself like you would treat your dog, which is an analogy that I just love to use. You would never send your dog into the ring loaded up on food that you know is going to leave them low energy, like foods that are kind of junk, that are going to crash their energy. But we do this to ourselves all the time. If we're in a bind, grabbing a quick sugary granola bar, or if we're just simply too busy and we skip lunch altogether and then wind up feeling foggy or cranky or exhausted halfway or later into the afternoon, this is key. Think about how you treat yourself, and would you treat yourself that way if you were your dog? Balancing your own blood sugar is key to showing up with the focus, the stamina, and the emotional regulation that you need to be your best. You're an athlete on this team too. And if you didn't know this, listen to this. Your brain takes about 25% of the calories that you take in every day, your brain uses. That's how much energy your brain needs to function. So not eating enough or not eating foods that support your brain function are going to leave you kind of foggy and just really not feeling the best. Let's talk now about your gut and also your taste buds. Your gut microbiome plays a huge role in cravings. Think about it like different colonies. And if you haven't listened or watched this documentary on Netflix called Hack Your Gut, write it down. I'm going to say it one more time. Hack Your Gut. It is incredible and will change how you look at broccoli for the rest of your life. What I want you to think about is in your gut, you've got different colonies. Just imagine a bunch of different villages, and the types of food that you're eating are going to make those specific villages that eat that sort of food grow. So if you eat a lot of sugar, the microbiome in your gut that consumes sugar is going to grow. And it's not like they just hang out there, right? They're not just hanging out. What they do is communicate with your brain to influence the types of foods that your brain wants to eat in order to feed the colonies of microbiome. But this really good news is that it can change and flip just really quick and easy. It's like 3 to 4 weeks of eating fiber rich whole foods, and it will really shift your cravings. It's incredible how quickly. The same thing is going to go for your taste buds. Is you get brand new taste buds every 10 to 14 days, which gives you an amazing opportunity to rewire the types of food your body is craving to feed it on like a really deep sort of cellular level, and also change the types of foods that taste good to you. So what tastes good to you now, or sorry, what's tasting bland to you now if you're changing from a processed diet to one that is more single ingredient foods, it might, in 3 or 4 weeks taste really rich or have sweetness that you weren't expecting before. And there might be a depth of flavor that you couldn't appreciate when your taste buds were wired or appreciating different kinds of foods. You can really retrain your palate, just like we retrain our dogs to love different reinforcers. We can train ourselves to enjoy healthier foods. We're going to talk real quick about emotional eating and reward loops. We're not going to talk about this a lot. This is a really big topic, but we're going to dance over it. So sugar will activate dopamine, which is your feel-good chemical in your brain. And if you have something sweet after dinner, or if you're feeling stressed, your brain wires that as reward loop. I feel stressed, I have a sugar thing, I feel good. It becomes a loop. And this, y'all, is not a character flaw. It's largely a habit. And also, like all habits, it is trainable. We're going to talk real quick about what the difference is between a biological and habitual craving. We're talking about these different reasons why people can really struggle with sugar cravings, because I have a super simple formula we're going to talk about as soon as we're done talking about habitual versus biological cravings that are, again, is going to help you understand where your sugar cravings are coming from so you can nip it in the bud. Biological cravings are about your body needing something, like low blood sugar, poor sleep, hormone shifts, or nutrient gaps can all be reasons that your body wants to take sugar in real quick because your body needs something. Habitual cravings, on the other hand, come out of routine or emotion or the environment that you're in. Always having a snack at night, eating when you're stressed or bored, grabbing sweets because they are there. Those kinds of things are habitual. I want you to start tracking and thinking about it if reducing sugar is something that you want to do. When do these cravings happen? What kinds of things are you doing or feeling? And also, what did you eat in the 2 or 3 hours before? This awareness is going to give you the power to respond and not just react. Here is your very simple formula. Track your cravings, identify the patterns, and then adjust intelligently. To track, write down when the craving hits, what you want, how you feel, what you ate. When I'm hungry, the first thing my body wants is a sweet pastry. And so I know that about myself. When I start craving sweet pastries, I know that I'm hungry. And as soon as I eat something that's good for me and is actually going to fill me up, that craving is gone like almost immediately. The next thing to identify is, was this biologic or habitual? Are you tired, stressed, or underfueled? And then adjust. And I want you to go small shifts at a time because that really goes a long way. Add more protein and fiber. Think not so much about removing foods from your regular food diet, but about adding foods to your diet that are good for you. Don't worry so much about taking stuff away. I want you thinking about adding things to your diet. Add protein. Think about your pro foods. Add protein and produce at your meals. Swapping sugary snacks for satisfying ones like fruit and nut butter is a really good one. That's something you can pick up too at gas stations. A banana and a bag of nuts, real easy. Also, Greek yogurt, crunchy vegetables with hummus is also a really nice snack. And different vegetables are going to taste good to you, and some are not going to taste good to you. And sometimes the texture of what you're enjoying in your cravings can also be replicated with vegetables and fruits and those kinds of things. And the last thing is, using stress relief tools like going for a walk, spending time with your dog, using some breath work or meditation can go a really long way in helping you if you're having stress related sugar cravings, kind of calm yourself down without taking sugar. And here's how you can handle your cravings without deprivation. So let's expand on that a little bit and talk about strategy. And I know that we've talked about this, but we've talked about a lot of stuff. So these are the key things: eating more protein and healthy fats, adding to your diet the pro foods, protein and produce and fats. Aim for 25 plus grams of protein at each meal. Don't skimp on the fats either. Fats do not make you overweight if that's a concern of yours. Avocado, nuts, seeds, olive oil all help stabilize your blood sugar. The next thing is hydrating. Dehydration mimics hunger and cravings. Start your day with a big glass of water and keep sipping throughout your day. One thing that I really advise my clients to do is get one water bottle that they just love so it becomes an accessory. Think about the colors that you want to look at. No joke. Think about if the water bottle you're choosing, if you like how it goes with most of your outfits. And I'm not playing because that really makes a big difference. The color, if you prefer a smoother texture of your water bottles, you might like metal, you might like glass, you might like a straw, whatever it is, get one that holds about a liter or 4 cups of fluid and fill it up a couple times a day. Liking your water bottle makes a really, really big difference. The next thing to handle your cravings and set you up for success is to swap foods and not slash it. So think about upgrading and not removing. We're going to upgrade your treats. Upgrading your treats with like berries and Greek yogurt. So you could freeze Greek yogurt and blend it with fresh berries, or blend Greek yogurt with frozen berries to make kind of a bit of like a fruity sort of ice cream, or fruit and nut butter, or fruit and nuts. You could also have a square of dark chocolate. We're not thinking about cutting pleasure here. That's when you're thinking about making these swaps. I don't want you to think about cutting pleasure. I want you to think about how good you're going to feel later and improving how you feel after. And the last and arguably very most important thing is planning ahead. When you plan to succeed, you're way more likely to succeed. But if you don't plan, you're kind of planning to fail. It's like you've default made a decision. So when you're going to work, or if you have had a bad night's sleep, or you're going to a trial when you know that you're not going to be able to get back out and go pick up something healthy for yourself, just stop at the gas station and grab some things that meet that criteria. Beef jerky, a protein shake, Grab some whole grain crackers, bags of nuts, the fruit that they have available. They often have meat-filled sandwiches that, again, are gonna be higher in protein. Get some snacks when you're there so you don't get there and end up at the whim of whatever is available. And the last thing I really want you to think about is that having an all or nothing mindset is going to bite you in the ass in almost every area of your life. No exception with sugar. You need to let yourself enjoy sweets, but be mindful about it. And having guilt free enjoyment is going to build trust with you that you can do this, and also is going to reduce big binges because those are not great. And I want you to think about this. I want you to think about how intentional you are when you're feeding your dog. You consider timing, portion sizes, quality, and how food will impact their performance and recovery. But when it comes to ourselves, that is so much harder. They don't have a choice. They get what we give them. But us, we have all kinds of choices. And it's not uncommon for us to operate from a bit of like survival mode, which looks like eating what's available when we remember and not having enough strategy for us to have optimal energy through the day and at the end of the day. And there's no shame in that. That's just how it goes. But shifting into an athlete's mindset for you will change everything. And you deserve the same thoughtful fueling that you give to your dog. Let's wrap this up. Okay, sugar cravings are normal, but they do not need to control you. You can understand your patterns and fuel your body properly, manage your stress, and replace old habits with new one, including your gut bacteria and your taste buds, and make sustainable changes that stick. If you're a handler, this matters more than you think. What you eat directly affects your focus, timing, reaction speed, your patience, and your recovery. Fueling isn't about being restricted. It is about showing up ready to partner with your dog at your best. And this is your homework for this week. I want you to track your sugar cravings for 3 to 5 days. When, why, and what's going on. I want you to prioritize protein and healthy fat at each meal and produce, pro foods. Aim for 25 or more grams of protein per meal and produce and some healthy fats. Aim for a goal of 7 to 9 hours of high quality sleep. I really need you to hydrate like it matters because it really, really does. Also, think about practicing mindful indulgence. Enjoying food is a part of being human, and being mindful about that makes it even more enjoyable and is much more likely to leave you eating in a way that serves your biggest goals. The most important thing here, as always, is to be kind to yourself. This isn't about being perfect, it's about being aware, curious, and supportive of your body and your goals. Craving sugar doesn't mean that you're failing, it means you're human, and we're here to help you learn how to fuel you to be the athlete that your dog needs and wants, and the person that you see as your very best self. If you want more support or resources to help you feel better, fuel smarter, or be stronger as a dog sport athlete, head on over to caninehandlerfitness.com. I've got a ton of free tools, a free warm-up ebook, movement sessions, and a lot more ways that you can learn about me and also how you can work with me. Thanks so much for listening. And if this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend who's ready to get off the sugar roller coaster. And I will see you next week. And until then, stay strong, stay steady, and take good care of yourself.